Hey guys, sorry I haven't really been filming this process so far, but I was trying to find some information online and there just wasn't a lot of videos out there, so I figured I'd record this real fast. What I'm doing right now is I bought this Burger Motorsports intake online, and I got it for a great price, and the guy let me know in advance that the filter was a bit dirty, and when I received it, I got this cleaning kit from their website, and I'm cleaning out the filter, and it already looks a ton better. Basically, I got all this debris out, and it's looking pretty great so far. I let it dry. I followed all the instructions. For an N55 motor, you're going to need 33 grams of the oil. Different motors will need different different quantities, so keep that in mind. And then the way you do it with these is, so each tick on here, I don't know if it'll come through, but each tick on here is 2.5 grams. So you gotta do the math. Line it up. I was a little over like 13 lines, so I went a little bit over that. And then you start at the base and you work your way down when you drop it in. It's a little hard to do one-handed, so I'm not going to show you guys, but just wanted to let you know what we're doing, and then I'll show you a quick install if the rain slows down a little, because it's pouring right now. Alright, see ya. We're doing it by hand. All we did so far was pop in these clips, and they're really easy to take out, and then you unscrew this bolt, and then we're going to be switching everything over to the new intake and leave the same heat housing for the new filter. So it should be pretty simple. Alright, see you. So we got the old intake out, and we're starting to put the Burger Motorsports intake in. So far everything's looking good. Alright, it's all done. I just came back from a test drive. I will try and get some video and sound later. As you can see, it's still raining. It's also 5:35 right here. Check that out. Props to the N55 guy. So I'm gonna try and get some clips of how the car sounds with the intake while driving inside the cabin, outside the cabin, and maybe with the hood open. So let's see how it goes here. Hopefully this video is like semi-chill. No idea. Just like, you know, it's kind of funny actually. Now that I think about it, I think that 535 that I showed you guys in that video earlier was my sister's boyfriend's car. So I did a little pull there, nothing quick. I think I went up to 25 miles an hour there. So it's just under normal driving conditions, but I pushed it a little bit. Alright, Let's see how this turned out. Do a quick clip from the front of the car. Anyway, hopefully this looks a little bit better. I'm trying to work on a few different setups for the camera. So right now, I just want to talk to you guys a little bit about my thoughts on the Burger Motorsports intake. I put it on yesterday. As I said earlier, it was super easy. I'm not a mechanic by any means. And I put it on by myself, just reading the instructions in the rain in like maybe 20 minutes. Maybe a little bit longer. I mean, I think the longest aspect of that was probably just looking for like the tools that I needed. So here's my thoughts. It's pretty quiet, honestly. When I put a Takeda intake on my last car, and that was a V6, and that thing roared. And here, I don't know if it's just like the way BMW insulates their cars and puts sound deadening in, but you can barely hear it. I mean, you can hear some turbo whistling, you can hear like a little bit of whooshing here and there, but even really under wide open throttle, which I think I only did 2 pulls. Right now it's not really the best time for that. Obviously it's pouring rain, there's mud and debris everywhere. We're in California, so most people do not know how to drive in the rain, so I'm not going to be that asshole. When it's a little bit more clear, I'll try to get some better shots for sure of me driving in, and maybe a little bit more feedback. Oh, God, it's freezing. So one thing I wanted to do is what I called a mom test. So I actually had, that same day I had to drive over to my mom's house. I did the install at her house. I live in an apartment right now, so I can't, I mean, I can do it in there, but it's not ideal. Over here where toolboxes are and stuff, it's a little bit better. So I came over here, did the install. A little bit later we had to go run some errands, so she came in the car with me initially too, and she walked out, she's like, what the hell? She's like, your car's gonna be so loud. You know, a lot of her fears that I think a lot of our viewers have. And so she knows my last car was a straight piped V6 full bolt on, and you know, most people could probably hear me 4 or 5 blocks down the road. I mean, that thing was just stupid loud. There was no chance of having a conversation in that car whatsoever.
Speakers had to be cranked up like a motherfucker, just just to drown out the drone. But I'm going for a totally different setup here. Anyways, she got in the car. I told her, I was like, no, I just changed my cabin filter, my air filter, like super easy. Don't worry about it. You know, I wasn't gonna go into detail on it. So she got in and we're driving around and we got to our destination and I was like, so what'd you think of the car? And she goes, what do you mean? She's like, everything was the same. I didn't notice anything different. So there you go. She passed the mom test, so to speak, and I think I might do some more of those kind of tests here in the future. I'm gonna probably be doing an exhaust electric cutout from QTP, so I'll let you know how that goes because we're gonna cut out the resonator and there's probably gonna be a muffler delete, and then you're gonna have the electric cutoff that's gonna be put into a toggle switch, maybe here. Let's see, guys can see like here. Maybe in the center console or something like that. Let's get that fixed a little bit further. So yeah, I mean, very, very quiet modification from my experience. Yeah, it is cool to hear some whooshing and like I played around a little and like didn't hint at it and she was like laughing about it, but you can't really tell much of a difference. So I don't know. I think I read somewhere on a forum somebody was complaining like it's so loud in the cabin if you do the golf mod and the intake or whatever, and he's like, I couldn't stand it and I plugged it in. I'm like, bro, I've had golf mod intake. It's literally the quietest thing in the world. So I don't know what to tell you, bro. So yeah, I mean that's really feedback. I'm gonna drive around a little bit more. It sounds good. I don't notice any horsepower. I didn't think I would notice any horsepower. I think a lot of times people equate sound. So like the louder your car is and like the more aggressive it sounds, they're gonna feel like it's faster. And it might feel like it's faster because you're pushing it that much harder. So you're like trying to get that wide open throttle, like whooshing noise and turbo scrolling noise and whatever. But I didn't feel like I was really getting any kind of oh shit, my hands are all cut up. Any kind of I didn't feel like I was getting any kind of gains. Let's put it that way. It actually might have even felt a little laggy on the bottom end. I'm trying to kind of feel for that a little bit more today. I don't know if I just haven't noticed it or some people's concerns are that it can be laggy lower in RPMs, and I might have felt that. I'm going to check a few things, make sure the vacuum hose is on correctly, and that everything's tight enough. But I'm not throwing any codes whatsoever, and I'd probably drove around 3 hours in total yesterday on purpose, trying to run errands, go on the freeway, go on the streets, normal everyday driving, nothing aggressive. I'm not a race car driver, as I said before, so this is just my daily hauler. Hopefully I'll be buying a 2-seater sports car in the future. Maybe in the next year or two. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet. Like I said before, I was looking at Mustangs. I really like Porsches, so somewhere in between there, depending on kind of what life swings at me. You know what I mean? Is it going to be a budget or baller build? Stay tuned. Alright guys, yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Love to hear your opinions. I mean, maybe you think it's super loud. I don't know. Maybe I'm deaf. I party too hard or something. But you guys tell me. And I'll see you all soon. Alright, peace.